Hey guys, I just kind of wanted to give more health stuff basically. Because that all my life seems to be this year. I feel like I've been in the hospital and the doctor in 2019 than I have in the last 10, honestly. It's really stressful. So I just came back from the gynecologist. It's more HPV stuff. They got all the internal stuff taken care of back last October. Not this one past, but 2018. But there's stuff that lay dormant for a while, and it just is just now popping up externally. So I kind of want to talk about. I kind of want to talk about it because, not just as in this is what's going on with me, but also because there's such a stigma around STDs and stuff like that. That a lot of people just don't get tested, and they're just passing it on, or don't get help, or don't use protections, all that good stuff. Well, not good stuff, but you know what I mean. Because in a way, we've kind of criminalized isn't the word I'm looking for, but along those lines of you should be ashamed that you enjoyed yourself, basically. Well, in like you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so I was in a relationship. I mean, we weren't together, but it was kind of more than just sex, if that makes sense. It was weird. Like, it just, because if it was just sex, there wouldn't have been the problems that we had. It's like it's like we weren't in a relationship, but we were having relationship problems. Because he's a psychopath and manipulative as all hell. Basically, he wanted to control what I was doing, but he could go and do whatever. He wanted me to be in a relationship, but he didn't want to be in a relationship. If that makes sense? Yeah, it doesn't. None of that shit made any sense. And so that happened for like 10 months, on and off. And like I said, he wanted me to be in a relationship, so I was exclusive. The agreement is that we would both be exclusive, but he wasn't exclusive. And since my tubes are tied, we didn't worry about protection because I couldn't get pregnant. And I had a sense about 6 months in, probably sooner than that he was sleeping around. And we had talked about using protection, and then we didn't. And then after I cut everything off, that's when he was the only person I was sleeping with. And I cut everything off, and then I had, about 3 months after that, I had my annual. And that annual came back abnormal, and they're like, okay, well, we gotta do a coloscopy. That's how it's pronounced. Where they basically take a biopsy of your cervix tissue to see what's going on in there. So I did that. Found out I had HPV 16, which is one of the cancer strands, or potentially cancer strands. And I got the vaccine when I was 16. I got the HPV vaccine, all 3 sets, but they all have different strands. So it could have been like, the vaccine I got could have been HPV 121. There's 121 strands, or something like that. So, and didn't account for the one I got, unfortunately. So, took care of that, had a LEEP procedure. They cauterized all precancerous cells off. I was like, okay, cool, I think I'm done. And then, last month or so, I noticed, okay, this is all TMI, so you know. I'm not going to get into too much detail, but it is TMI. Like skin tags or lesions in the clitoral hood area. And I was like, and I haven't been with anyone since then either. I'm Demi. I'm very selective. You'd think as selective I am with people that I sleep with, I'd be a better chooser. Because, I've only been with 4 people, and which is kind of low for my age, I would say. And I'm not like slut shaming or anything like that. And like, as long as you're using protection and being smart about it, sleep with who you want. Like, as long as you're not hurting anybody, I don't care. Or yourself. So, you do you, boo. I'm just not, there has to be an emotional connection for me to sleep with someone. So, yeah. There's that. And so I haven't been with anyone out there. So this has been laying dormant for the last year or so. Like, I noticed, like, some things were off with my vagina in that area. But, like, it wasn't to this extent. Like, I didn't really see anything. It just fell off, basically, for the last few months. And I mentioned it to my doctor back in, I think it was July, was the previous time. He's like, well, if anything does develop, you know, we'll check it out and all that. But I feel like it still kind of feel like it should have come up in all my blood work and all the testing I had done, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, so it is HPV related. Today I just had a biopsy of these lesions, these skin tags, and he doesn't know 100% what it is. It's what the biopsy and diagnostics are for, and that'll come back in 7 to 10 days. And it could very well be something that's not curable. And it's treatable. Like, he cut many of these tags off, and he's like, we'll have a medicine that'll peel the rest of them away when I come back. Yeah, my gynecologist is a he. Which at first I was really, because my original one got a promotion, so she doesn't practice anymore. But I'm in the same office, but he's great. I was really wary of it at first, but yeah, he's really great. I'm really comfortable. I mean, it's still awkward. I mean, that's always going to be awkward, but it's not uncomfortably awkward. But anyway, so I had the biopsy today. My vagina hurts so bad. I had 3 or 4 needles stuck in there to numb it with lidocaine, or yeah, I think so, or something like that, to numb it while he was doing the biopsy, because he cut them off, and I felt him cutting them off, and it did hurt. Like, I felt it was like, there's that 10 scale of 1 to 10. It was like a 2, like pulling a nose hair out. That's kind of how it felt. Yeah, it wasn't great, and there's a lot of blood, and right now it feels like it's on fire. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not comfortable. It's not as bad as it was. Like, I was driving back and the numbing wore off. And I was like, oh my god, cars, get out of my way. Like, I'm going to run you over. I need to get home. And it's definitely swollen. I don't know if you've had a painful swollen vagina, but it's not fun. I'm not loving this at all. Like, I was in tears on my way back. Like, it was awful. But yeah, so, and it might not be curable, and that's something I'm trying to prepare myself for the worst, because if it is something like HPV genital warts, those don't go away. So I'm trying to prepare myself for that. It's on my neck. I don't know what that was. I'm hoping it's not, but all the signs kind of lead to that, which really sucks, because cause that's the thing, it only takes one person to give you an STD that you'll have the rest of your life. Even if, you know, you're fairly cautious, and that's the thing, it only takes, and I'm not saying don't trust people, don't take it that way, but I got this because I trusted someone. Maybe foolishly trusted them, but like I said, they were manipulative, so just a whole bag of crazy. But and I think that's where part of the stigma comes from, is that, well, also STDs are seen as dirty, as filthy, as unclean, and I won't lie, like, I feel tainted. I don't feel clean, like, despite that I haven't been with anybody since him, because I knew, like, I didn't want to sleep with anybody because I knew all this was going on and don't want to give it to anybody, and like, things can, even with a condom, things can still happen, like, they can break, and all that. And I mean, because condoms are only what, like 95 or to 97%, which is a very high percentage, and you should still use them, as I say when I didn't. But yeah. But you know, like, it can still happen. Or some people are just horrible and they'll put holes in condoms and you won't know and purposely give you that, or stuff like that. Because I mean, there was that case in Florida recently about somebody who had HIV who was having he was raping kids and giving them HIV, raping young boys. So like, that's a whole nother, just, he needs to be shot in the head. I don't advocate violence, but when it comes to stuff like that, no, you don't deserve to exist anymore. But that's just my personal opinion. But I think we really need to stop viewing them like that, because, like I said, I'm not trying to get too deep here, but like, I don't feel like I can be with anybody anymore, in a way. Because, like, that's hard to bring up. So I'm not trying to cry. Like I said, I'm not trying to get too deep. But, and it's just, like, it's, like, how do you address that? And be like, okay, I was with this asshole. They gave me this. We have to use protection. You know, it's like, well, what's their reaction? It's like, I don't want to deal with that. Bye. Like, and that's understandable. So, because, I mean, like, if it's something that is curable, then okay, you cure it, it's done. You go to your doctor, you cure it, it's done. You don't have to worry about it anymore. But if it's not, and you carry that with you the rest of your life, how do you handle that? And then there's just, like, and then you have, like, the shitty people are like, it's unclean, it's, you know, you should have done this and that. And it's like, well, that doesn't fucking help me now. Yeah, I should have used a fucking condom, but he also shouldn't have been sleeping around. Like, if you want, you should have just ended it instead of lying to me and going behind my back and all that good stuff. So, and gotten him tested himself and make sure he was clean. And he should have been responsible for wearing a condom as well. Like, he didn't even keep him he didn't even have any in his house. So, like, it's not one person's responsibility. And it's certainly not the woman's responsibility to make sure a man takes care of his dick. Like, it's just not. So, yeah. And I'm trying to work past this. I'm like, I know it's not my fault, but I still feel dirty because of it and feel unwantable. That's not a word, but still, and unlovable even. And that's just, it's kind of hard to process. And then even if you take that out of the picture, the whole health thing, like, this could very well affect me getting another kidney when the current one, because I know when I first got mine, there were a lot of stipulations to getting an organ transplant. I don't know if those have changed at all, but, like, I don't think you could have an STD and get an organ transplant. And that's probably still the same. And I really don't want to be strapped to a machine that cleans my blood 3 days a week. At least 3 days a week. Again. And for the rest of my life. It's not a life worth living at that point. It really isn't. You can't go anywhere. You can't do anything. And it's just, it sucks. So, sorry, I was trying to keep it together, because I'm really at my breaking point with all this health stuff. I really just want to be healthy. And just not have to worry about anything. And not go to the doctor 3 times a month, and know the staff at the hospital. Like, it's a lot. But, yeah, so we definitely need to talk about it more and be more educated on it. Like, I've talked about how, like, sex ed in the South is non-existent, basically. Abstinence doesn't work, and it's not going to. Hormones are hormones, and people are gonna have sex. Like, that's just how it is. And even, like, with HPV, you don't have to have sex to get it. You can be a virgin, never touched anything remotely sexual, done anything remotely sexual in your life to get it. And we need to educate people about that. We need to be open about it and not ashamed of, like, okay, this happened. This is how I'm taking care of it. This is what I did to get treatment. My body felt off. It didn't look right. I went to my doctor. He's like, all right, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. And we're going to do this. And we're going to get it taken care of. But it's just like another thing that I have to put up with. But, yeah. So, that's my main worry is how it will affect my kidney health. More so than anything else. Like I've talked about, I'm not interested in dating. I'm not interested in getting married. I would like at some point in my life maybe to be with someone again, but only if it is a good like relationship where there's good open communication, there's honesty, there's trust on both sides, there's understanding, there's patience, a willingness to grow with each other, learn each other, and work things out rather than just fight and stuff like that. Yeah. And if I find that, I would hope that they would be understanding of this currently. But I'm far more worried about kidney health. Because, like, that kidney is the only thing keeping me alive. The kidney and the meds I take every day. Like, if I lose that, I could die in an instant. But, so, that's my main concern. Almost like, even, like, if a friend or a family member gives me a kidney, can I even get it then? Like, I see my kidney doctor on the 21st. And I'll have to bring this up to her. I mean, I have to keep my medical history up to date constantly. But, I mean, I know she's going to be disappointed in me. She's going to, and that's another thing. It's like, there's just that disappointment. And it's just like, well, what do you expect me to do now? I can't do anything but what I'm doing now. And, yeah. So, you know, so I'm playing with a candy wrapper. I do that when I'm anxious. Or I play with things when I'm anxious. But, I don't care. Yeah. I'm really worried about that because I think I talked about how, my kidneys, when I got my kidney 14 years ago, the lifespan on it is 15 to 20 years. If you take your meds every day, stay hydrated, eat well, exercise, which I try to do. And I do take my meds every day. And I'm at year 14, and I've had more kidney infections this year. It just hurts in general a lot more, so, I mean, my lab work says it's fine, but, I mean, you know how your body acts, like, you know when something's not quite right. So, yeah, that's just what I'm really worried about, because I do not want to be strapped to a machine again. I was 14 and I was in school, so I didn't really have to. It's not like I was going anywhere, but I still, like, I couldn't. If I wanted to visit my grandparents up in North Georgia, which is only a 4-hour drive for 2 days for a weekend, I would have to go to dialysis a day early, and then take like 2 more shifts, 2 more things the next week. So I couldn't really go to conventions. I wouldn't be able to travel. I wouldn't necessarily be able to move. And you guys know I don't want to stay here in Georgia, so yeah. And it's all because this dude wasn't open to me, because he was sleeping around. He didn't want to use protection, and because I didn't, and I didn't make him use protection, because I was like, I can't get pregnant, so fuck it. So yeah, it's a lot, but I mean, like with a lot of progress we've seen throughout history, it comes from people talking about it, and it makes it less of a taboo thing, gives it less of a stigma. I mean, we're seeing that with mental health now, and I've talked about this before. Like, the more people are talking about it, more people are opening up, more people are going to doctors and seeing because they're like, I want to feel better, I want to be healthy, I don't want to hide, I don't want to, you know, be made to feel like shit because somebody doesn't understand something about me. Or because of what society deems as normal or whatever. So, yeah. But yeah, my vagina's on fire, you guys. I'm not gonna lie. This is not pleasant. If anything else, just use a condom so you don't get 4 needles stabbed into your vagina. Like, really. Because this is not fine. Oh, yeah. I just wanted to talk about that, I guess. I was going to do a fun video. Fuck. I don't know what that is. Okay then. The robots are finally overtaking us, I think. That's what that is. But, yeah. So, maybe when I feel better, I'll film and put up a fun video today. Because I went like 3 weeks without putting up a video, and I feel terrible about it. So, yeah. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for hanging around. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And I'll see you later.